So welcome back to DecoyNoise and another episode of Am I the Antagonist? And am I the antagonist for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? So in another episode of Furlough DecoyNoise, where I'm at work, I'm doing nothing but getting really bummy with my facial hair, letting my other hair get terrible. It's all bad. So if you want to see me descend into madness, please subscribe down below and also comment what subscriber number you are, because as of recording this video, I'm at 850 subscribers. So once I hit that 1,000 mark, I don't think I'll be able to count all the subscribers individually. And if I hit 100K or 1 million subscribers, maybe those 1,000 subscribers that I put on the DecoyNoise website will be, it'll be something to kind of brag about. So let's just get into this post, because honestly, I don't really know how I feel about this. So OP writes, I am a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff. Like, literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. Like, how sad are you to have to be a grown-ass man taking your anger out on some high school and college-aged kids? So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we don't make the coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. So James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too. So he was just like, "OP, this is unacceptable. You're fired." So I started getting real sad. Like, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs the money. I need this job, please." He played it up like being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave. The angry guy started to backtrack, like, "It's not that big of a problem. You don't need to fire over it. I didn't mean it." And James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting, and we've done it a couple times. Whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. Almost every time. The person who had to come in angry will apologize and say they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying making people realize their action might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking they'd gotten someone fired who desperately needs their money. Fired, right? So they've got someone fired who desperately needs it. Am I the antagonist for this joke? So let's take this to decoy court, where oftentimes I don't have expertise in the situation. I just have a really strong opinion. But right here, I do have expertise. I've had lots of, I don't want to say crappy jobs, because I like most of my jobs growing up in college and high school. But I've had bad jobs where you have people walking in all the time that just seem to want to take out all their anger on you. And one of those things I try to always, like, even at a young age, I try to just see past the whole situation, like, hard eyes or soft eyes, and just really see, like, what's going on. And I'm like, look, if this person's angry enough in their life that they can, I worked at a burger shop, and if their burger wasn't exactly how they wanted it, if they could come up and say, "Hey, can you make it right or remake it or whatever," or they can come up and say, "Hey, make my burger again, like this is unacceptable, blah, blah," and they can start going off on you or whatever. It's like, man, their life must suck. Your life sucks if a burger like made too much or doesn't have tomato or something can ruin your day, raise your blood pressure, and make you rant and rave at some kid or whatever that doesn't know. Like, they got to worry about, like, CSATs and the finals and everything. Like, they don't know. There's if their day can be ruined by such a small thing, just let them have it. Like, yo, I'm not trying to make your life any more hard than it already is. Like, you got other stuff going on, so whatever. And the idea that this person right here actually they're actually able to teach them a lesson. They could speak their language. Like, it's kind of like, the Joker saying, like, I'm like a dog chasing a car. If I got to the car, I wouldn't know what to do. And it's the idea over here where it's like, he wants to shame her for not making the coffee hot enough. And if he could somehow make it where his coffee would always be hot enough, he needs to get that girl fired and get the coffee shop a new machine or whatever. So it's like, he doesn't even know what he wants when he actually gets what he's gunning for. It's like, "Oh, you want me to fire this girl? You're fired, get out of here." And he's like, "Oh, wait, I don't know what to do." Like, he just wanted the exercise of, like, getting angry, feeling good about pushing someone around, because, who knows what his home life is like and what else is going on. Is he always getting pushed around? Maybe he wants to feel all, like, high and mighty, because the one thing I always tell is, when you're out and about, you're at, like, grocery store, retail store, whatever it may be, and you see somebody yelling at a cashier, it's just like, they're only doing that because they know they can't fight back, because they have to keep their job. So they're just a bully. Like, you see an adult picking on like a toddler or whatever. It's like, yeah, they know the kid can't fight back, so they do it. They feel good about themselves. And that's essentially the same thing happening when you have a guy yelling at a cashier worker or somebody that needs a job or whatever. It's because they know that they have something to lose, so they can get away with it. So it's a good to teach them the lesson. It's a mean prank, yeah, whatever, but F them, you know what I mean? If you want to play that game, be ready to like face the consequences. So I'm gonna say Decoy Court, not the antagonist. And also, before we get to those top comments and those more fun controversial comments, let's go ahead and pause the video. Let me know in the comments down below, because like I said, I'm in furloughed mode. I got nothing better to do than interact with your comments down below. But let's get to it. Top comment, not the antagonist. That's a perfect way of dealing with hostile customers. And this person doing the whole, oh my gosh, thank you for the silver. Gold, you're too kind. I feel like the gold and silver award acceptance speech on the Reddit comments is the equivalency of like if you're on the the YouTube comments, you're like, hey man, who's watching this in 2020? Hey, who's watching this from South Korea or whatever? It's like, dude, I don't get it. Maybe you in the comments section below can tell me why you would say, hey, who's watching this video in 2020? Or hey, who's watching this video from Sweden? Like, I don't get why. What is that? Maybe I'm too old to know, but let's look at the next reply. Agreed. And when the hospital customers try to backtrack, what they say makes it worth it. OP's tactic hopefully teaches them to stop complaining to service workers about things out of their control. And maybe just makes them think twice about, like, you know, things they say have consequences. So next reply, they got silver, not the antagonist. I think it's hilarious, and maybe it'll teach some people about controlling their jerkness. True. OP's a legends. Okay, a lot of the patting on the back situation. Next post. You're not the antagonist at all. You're the hero retailers need. Brilliant. Thanks for the silver, fellow human. Oh my god, this is just everybody patting each other on the back right now. Next post. Not the antagonist. Customers can be effing jerks. Usually people are pretty respectful and reasonable, even when they have a legit complaint, but every now and then there's a one guy or gal that comes in that they just can't be made happy. They're the worst. I've taken the approach of killing them with kindness and being sarcastically polite. Okay, sir, I can microwave your coffee for you. Would you like 2 minutes or 5? It's fun. Usually pisses them off more, but they can't do anything because you're not saying anything wrong. I'm curious how the customer acts when they come in the next day following week to see you're still behind the counter. I mean, like many stories on Reddit, maybe it's made up, maybe it's not, but you know, whatever. This is still a fun thing to kind of pass the time with. And the reply to that is, I would think they do not care they came to come back at the place. So the thing is, though, is a lot of people that complain like, I'm never coming back to this establishment again. You guys always suck, but they always come back. It's because they feel like they can get something out of it. Like, if you remake my coffee, I'm gonna get a slightly larger coffee. Or if, you know, you make my scone bad, I can eat half of it, and you're gonna give me another scone. They think they're like, you know, putting one over on the coffee shop or the restaurant or whatever. Like, they call it social engineering in some places or whatever, but it's just antagonists being antagonists. Like, everybody thinks that they have like this nice clever way to get around the thing. Like the one person that's like, hey, all we gotta do is order for some water cups and fill it with Sprite or 7-Up, you know, we got them. It's like, you know, you're not being smart, you're not being a genius, you're just being a jerk. Like, what, I can go on that forever, but let's look at the next top comment. So, not the antagonist. Fun fact, Harrods actually hires people for this. If a customer is upset in the store, the manager will call back the offender and fire them in front of the customer to satiate them. Then the guy whose job it is to be fired goes back to the back room and waits for another customer to get angry so he can be fired again. I think it's even better you're using to make it people think about twice of being antagonists in the store. Edit. So I've looked all over these responses and a lot of people are telling me this is not true. Honestly, the first place I saw this fact was elsewhere on Reddit being talked about completely seriously, and none of the replies claimed to be false or untrue. I know it's not a reliable info source, but I kind of saw this post and remembered what I had read and thought it would be a good addition to the thread. However, seeing as it's false, I don't really see the harm in not removing it because it's a humorous concept to think about. But after seeing the comments and researching it for myself, it's clear my fun fact should not be labeled as such. Let's go ahead and say right now, fun facts on the internet are seldom facts. Like, you can just post anything on Instagram with like stock images or misattributed images and be like, oh my god, did you know that 9 times out of 10 blah 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 happened, and people are gonna repost it. Like, most of the stuff you see online, it's just not real. It's not true. It's this is for entertainment at this point. Entertainment at this point in time. If you're getting your information off Wikipedia and Reddit, you're probably gonna have a bad time. So, next reply is, put some Tiger Balm on your tissue to make more genuine tears. I mean, I don't get what that is. So, like I always say, drop your comments down below. That's the more fun thing to see because, you know, oftentimes I'll have a knee-jerk opinion or reaction and I'll be wrong, and someone in the comment section can kind of steer me in the right direction or make me change my mind. But like always, the more fun replies are the ones in the controversial section, because those are the people that are probably antagonists themselves. They get it wrong, or they're just being mean or whatever. Oh my gosh. everybody's getting it wrong, but like always, I always struggle. Like, what is wrong with my browser where it doesn't want to let me click the button sometimes? But here we go. So someone's saying they're the antagonist. You're the antagonist, but it's hilarious, and I wish I had the balls to do this in my past customer service jobs. A lot of times you can desecrate the customer in many different ways. Turning a joke is kind of mean. I can count the amount of times on one hand, over 10 years of working these jobs where customers were actually being jerks to me and not having bad days. That guy with a hot coffee issue may have lost someone close to them or was fired. You don't know enough about what people are going through, and a little empathy could go a long way. I've had moments where I was being rude to a retail worker because of the day I had, and I would feel 10 times worse if I thought someone was fired over it. In closing, it's an antagonist thing to do, but the malicious side of me thinks it's funny. So edit. I've actually been on both sides of this coin. Everyone has bad days, everyone has good days. Fake firing another employee because they were complaining about the temperature of coffee is an antagonist offense. There is no justification for being rude to anyone. What I can tell you is that the people that were being rude to me when I was on the clock came back and apologized after the fact and offered an explanation for their behavior, made the entire experience different because I was able to see from their point of view. Heck, I had a lady who threw food at me when I was working at the drive-thru. She came up about an hour later crying and told me that she just saw her dog getting hit by a car that morning and now she was very sorry. Not everyone who loses their cool is a terrible person. The comment saying I'm an antagonist and a terrible person because I lose my cool every once in a while could learn a lesson like empathy. This will probably get me more hate and more downvotes, but it's something that needs to be shared and more. This world is filled with negativity and anger, some justified, some not. Making light of someone's pain or rudeness is not okay, just as it's not okay to lose it on someone because they had a bad day. So I'm willing to bet that that part of the whole thing where people coming back to apologize were either one, like once in a lifetime situations, people seldom do that, or two, just made up. I don't think that people are really, like, people that are antagonists in real life aren't going back and saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And, you know, if so, this person's incredibly lucky for encountering these people, but it'd be one thing if a guy's shouting at you and like, you're incompetent. Oh my God, I can't believe what a terrible job you are doing with your situation. Your coffee making skills are terrible. You should be fired or whatever. If he turned around and said, nah, you should be fired. Your job sucks, blah, 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 and got back at him. Yeah, there's no reasoning behind that. You shouldn't be rude back to them. But if you're going to get back at them in a way saying, hey, this is what you want, this is malicious compliance at this point in time. Like the person saying, you want me to reheat your coffee? What do you want, 2 minutes or 5 minutes in the microwave? That's poking fun at it. Like nobody's getting there. No one's going home and like crying tears in their pillow because, oh my God, I can't believe I got the barista at Starbucks fired or whatever. It's just giving them a taste of their own medicine. Like malicious compliance. You wanted that? Here you go. Take it or whatever. So I'm not thinking this. I think this controversial reply got controversial because they're taken out of context and they're given these really random one-off scenarios or whatever. So that's why they got so much hate. I think it's completely okay to give them exactly what they're asking for if they're asking for it. So, I mean, are they wrong for doing it? Yeah, but, you know, it's probably a crappy minimum wage job where you're sitting there, like, you know, making tips trying to make it through college so you can get the job that you want. So they're making fun of the time. And they're not doing it to anybody innocent. They're only doing it to the people that are asking for it in the sense that, hey, they were rude to me, so this is the treatment they get. So let me know in the comments down below if you agree, disagree with me, what you think, what kind of topics I should do next. But as always right now, we're doing a little SNL celebration. I'm thanking everybody that made it this far in the video. Please, if you like the content, subscribe down below. Let me know what subscriber number you are because once we hit that 1,000 mark, we can't count it off anymore. So thanks for stopping by. Stay tuned for the next episode coming up next.